Well, hello, First Family. We are back. For those of you that have been following on Instagram, you will know that we experienced catastrophic tech failure over the course of 2 weeks, but now it's all been rectified. Got new lighting, new microphone, new lighting in the back, same camera. Camera still works. That's good. But here we go again, back to making videos, back to getting important go and tell information out to you. So grab a cup of something hot and yummy and let's talk go and tell. I've got a little Merry Christmas cup here. Merry Christmas from the Peanuts crew. So 'tis the season, got the red and green lights going in the background. But while you grab your little tasty treat, whatever it is, don't forget, this is the time in the video to please like, subscribe to our Go and Tell YouTube channel. Also, feel free to make comments down below. And if you like the episode, share it with someone else. Today, we are going to be doing a little Love Local update. This is a personal Love Local update. As I share with you just some things that God has been doing in our lives as we strive to love local in our efforts to make disciples of all nations here at FBCW. Back in October, we had our Love Local Fall Blitz. And for us, we partnered with a BFG led by Joey Norman. Joey and his wife Janet live just a catty corner from us on our street. And so we hosted it over at our place. I cooked gumbo. Joey and Janet fixed a couple of pots of chili, and we invited our neighbors over, had a great time. So what's happened since then? What are we doing to take advantage of those connections, and how is that translating into opportunities for the gospel to go further? Well, I'm glad you asked. That's what I'm going to be doing today. And so I just want to share a few things with you by way of how the follow-up is going. Now this is a long road. We're playing the long game here as we connect with neighbors. We're not trying to do this quickly or haphazardly. And so we're looking for those opportunities to just deepen relationships with neighbors we have, to strengthen relationships with neighbors perhaps that we have only recently met. And so one of the things that came out of our Love Local, some of you have heard me share this, is that at the Love Local, we were invited to a Christmas party. In October, they were already planning the Christmas party. There's a few houses down. They said they wanted to make sure that we were there. And so that Christmas party is coming up next week. And so we've cleared our schedule for that evening to make sure that we can go to that Christmas party and reconnect with those neighbors, and other neighbors will be there as well. And so we are looking forward to taking that relationship just one simple step further. They've been to our house. We will now get a chance to go to their house at their invitation. Why? Well, because we chose to intentionally love local in our neighborhood. Another thing that happened just this past weekend, it's fall is kind of wrapping up. All the leaves are have almost all fallen. There's still a few stragglers hanging on, but we're into the heat of the battle of the leaves in our yards, and so that's something that we all deal with. And I was out in my front yard just trying to get it just tidied up a little bit. I did not have time to do the front and the backyard, not even close. In fact, I knew I was going to be pushing time in the front yard because there was rain in the forecast and I had a very small window. And so I was just trying to do enough to not have my front yard just look in shambles. And so I'm out there, with the the yard bags that you get from like Lowe's or Home Depot. I've got my rake. I've got my handy dandy snow shovel that I learned last year is great for picking up leaves. And I'm out there, by myself, raking up leaves. And it's a lot of work, as you well know. And I look up, and coming down the street with his big, Craftsman backpack blower is one of my neighbors. And I've known this guy from early on since we moved here. But I honestly believe that it's because of the connection through Love Local, the chance to say, "Hey, come to my house, be in my space, eat some of my food, meet some of my friends who are also believers." That he came on down with his blower to help me out. Now, I will say I also believe it's large due to Love Local because I've been out there before. Last year, last fall, raking these leaves by myself, and I did so by myself. And so this is not the first time that I've been out there raking leaves. And he's had opportunities, not that he's obligated to come down, but we made a better connection because of the invitation to come and do the Love Local opportunity. And here he comes, blower on his back to do the leaves. And I'm raking, he's blowing. I mean, I don't have one of these things. And so what was going to take me a long time, and I was not even going to get to everything that we did, he does it in a matter of a few minutes. And then he looks over at my pitiful little Lowe's paper bag that you put out there with the trash, all like 30 bazillion of them after you've raked up your yard. And he says, "Hey, I've got something better than that. I'll be right back." Off he goes, comes back with one of these big collapsible dumpster bags. Some of you may be familiar with these. If you're not, it's this big, it's like a big dumpster made out of like a really tough, kind of like tarp-like material. It has straps on it. And we started filling that up. I won't tell you where we dump our leaves. That's a Montclair secret. But we started filling that up rather than filling up the numerous bags I would have had to have done. And so that we could just dump those instead of going through all the rigmarole of so many bags. Well, as we're doing this, I look up, and what do I see next? My other neighbor coming with a rake in his hand so that he can help me and my neighbor fill up this bag. And so between the three of us, what would have taken me up until the time of the rain starting and having not even finished, we did it in a matter of about 15, 20 minutes, got it dumped, cleared off. My yard looked great. And we got to just visit while we did it. While we're raking, we're talking about yards because you know what? These two guys are passionate about their yard. And so because they're passionate about their yard, I'm asking them all kind of questions about how to make my yard greener and how to do this and where do you get your dirt when you do the topsoil and things like that. I'll be honest, I'm not like crazy passionate about a green yard, but they are. So I use that as a way to just have common connection. Okay. And after all, if they're willing to help me rake my leaves, what else might they be willing to help me do in my yard? And likewise, I for them. And so we talked, we had a great time, finished that up and looked over across the street from our house, and another one of our neighbors was out desperately trying to get his leaves done. And so the three of us took the collapsible dumpster, took our rakes, blowers, and off we went across the street, and we helped him rake his leaves, and at least for his front yard and the side there, and go and dump those as well. And of course, he was just so grateful that we would come over and do that. And so we sat and talked with him for a while. Now, the two neighbors that came over initially, I've had some conversation with them. They're really nice guys, but never that much. The guy across the street, very, very little at all. Very little at all. And this was the most that he and I just chatted and talked about things, got to know each other a lot better. It was wonderful. Now, I'm going to give you the kicker to all of this right now. So all three of these guys, they came over, or two of the guys that came over, and then the connection with the third as we went over to his yard. All of them were invited to our Love Local event, to the chili and gumbo night. All three of them did not come. None of them did. One was out of state visiting his son. The other just kind of let the invitation kind of just slide, didn't really respond to it, didn't come over. The other one intended to come over, and he forgot. He just got busy, and it slipped his mind. He was so sad about missing out. But here's the thing. They all connected our relationship to the fact that we invited them to come over and eat chili and gumbo. They didn't even have to set foot over. They knew they were welcome in my house. They knew they were welcome to come over and partake of what I had. They knew that there were others in the neighborhood that cared about them. And even though they all kind of know each other, I was kind of new to the mix. Our family being one of the newer families on the street, but just the invitation alone was enough to get a conversation to go deeper. And so now I have 3 families that want to come over to my house to eat chili or gumbo. And guess what we're going to do? We're going to find time to make some chili and invite each family over individually to have some chili or to have some gumbo, because they missed out and they know they missed out. And what they're really looking for is connection. They're looking for good relationships with other neighbors. They don't want to feel by themselves in these neighborhoods. They want to know that, hey, I can count on the guy across the street or next door. We're looking out for each other. And so my plan, as I said, step 1, let's eat some chili, some gumbo together. And then, of course, step 2, which may even happen sooner than that, is I'm going to be sure to invite all 3 of those families to our Christmas concert on December 16th. It's a great, easy, low to no risk gospel connection. People love those types of Christmas events, especially traditional Christmas activities. This is an easy one. Some of those guys have some spirituality. I can as I pick up on that. And so it may be an easy bridge for them to cross, to come. And here's the deal. At FBCW, we don't just put on production for production's sake. We are expressing the truth of the gospel through the arts when we put on these productions. So it's not just entertainment. It's not just Christmas sentimentality. It is an opportunity for the gospel to be shared. And so, hey, like I said, the long game. So where are these evenings together over chili and gumbo, or perhaps gathered with the church for the Christmas concert? Where's that going to go? I don't know. God knows. But we want to continue to deepen those relationships. And I just wanted to share this with you, because if you've been doing Love Local, and as we encourage you and try to equip you to do that, if you're not sure, what's my next step? Listen, I want you to hear things that we are doing and how God is opening up doors. I did not invite anyone over to rake my yard. They just did it because I made an invitation to them. I saw them. I valued them. I said, you are welcome over to my place. And they said, if I'm welcome over there, this is somebody I want to know. And so, and then here's the deal. They know who I am. They know I am one of the pastors at FBCW, and that didn't stop them from coming over. So don't think about, outing yourself as a Christian is going to be a bad thing. Listen, people want to know who you are, and your Christianity, your faith, is primarily what makes up your identity. But it's not all that makes up your identity. You are other things as well. You may be a parent. You may be a worker. You may be someone who is a particular enthusiast in a certain hobby or sport, all kinds of things. And so people want to get to know you. But in getting to know you, because your identity is in Christ, they will get to know who Jesus really is. So even if you make an invitation and they don't take your offer up on that, it doesn't mean that it's not having an impact in their heart and mind. God can use anything to strengthen our relationships with our neighbors who do not know Christ. And so I just want to encourage you, especially this Christmas season, as we go through Christmas and even into the New Year's, make the invitations, make the connections, and just watch what God will do. But be ready to proclaim the gospel in both words and in deeds. And if there's any way that we can help better prepare you for that, please reach out to us. Let us know. We are more than happy to equip you, to train you, to have conversations with you, answer your questions, because loving local is one of the biggest ways that we will have impact for the gospel here in the Woodbridge community. So there you have it. That is how we personally, as a family, are being faithful to love local and to follow up on those opportunities. So be encouraged through the Spirit as He empowers you. You can do the same. Please do the same so that the gospel can get to the people in our community who desperately need it as we make disciples, as we go and tell.